Hello everybody and welcome back to The Sit Down. We have an absolutely stacked month of boxing ahead of us. January is going to be so lit. So let's get into it. Starting off with Jan the 10th, we've got Subriel Matias, who defends his WBC welterweight title against Dalton Smith at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. So this fight is a bit of an odd one because Matias failed a VADA test for Ostarine last month. So there was a lot of talk about, is this fight going to happen? It was very much in doubt. And, by hook or by crook, this fight has been made. It's taking place. And so it's definitely one for us to look forward to, although a lot of people have been kind of debating whether it should be going ahead. Either way, looking forward to seeing those guys in action. Jumping ahead to Jan 24th, we have the Queensberry show in Manchester, and this one is juicy because we've got Moses Atalma facing Jermaine Franklin. If you guys remember, the last time Atalma was out, it was in August. It was against, a domestic guy who's very well known, Dillian White, and the fight lasted less than 3 minutes with Atalma getting the stoppage over Dillian White in round one. So, the argument is that actually Atalma hasn't had a lot of time in the ring in all of 2025. So it'll be really interesting to see if Franklin can give him those rounds and get him working. I think definitely it's something that he probably needs. So we're very much looking forward to seeing that. On the same fight card, we have Willie Hutchinson versus Ezra Taylor. So this fight in particular does interest me. It's a light heavyweight matchup. And the question is, how does Taylor get on? Because Hutchinson is a guy who's faced a lot of people, a lot of domestic light heavyweight names. We saw him get the unanimous points victory over Craig Richards. We've seen him get a split decision loss to Buatsi, although it has to be said that the split decision part of that was a bit controversial because the judges' scorecards were a bit skeweth. Hutchinson is someone who's faced a lot of other heavyweight domestic guys. He's, definitely carved out a place for himself within that light heavyweight domestic list. Whereas Ezra Taylor, a little bit different. He's trained by Malik Scott. He's currently 13-0 and 9 of his victories have come by knockout. But, the argument is that his resume is not exactly star-studded. So for a lot of people, I think they're probably going to be thinking that this is, one of his maybe first tests or one of his greatest tests. So yeah, really excited to see that. And then fast forward a week further, we've got January 31st, multiple cards taking place all around the world. Boxer have a show in London with Adam Azim versus Gustavo Limos. In Puerto Rico, we have a top rank card which has Xander Zayas defending his WBO and WBA super welterweight titles against Abbas Barao. Over in Newcastle, we have Mortazaliev versus Josh Kelly for the IBF super welterweight title. And over in New York, the fight card that we all are absolutely salivating to see, we've got Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson. And Shakur Stevenson is a WBC lightweight champ. He's moving up to 140 pounds to challenge the WBO and ring title junior welterweight champ Lopez. So this is super juicy. There's a few things to be said about it. Okay, so Lopez has only actually fought once since June 2024. So will that inactivity affect him? I think probably a valid question. Stevenson has held titles in 2 other weight divisions and is an Olympic silver medalist. So I think a lot of people looking at this fight are going to be thinking, do you go for the bigger guy who's the champ, or are you going to go for the guy who's obviously, I would say, more accomplished and, technically a little bit more savvy? The other question is that Lopez can be a bit inconsistent with the performances. So me personally, I'm leaning towards a Shakur Stevenson win, but it's definitely going to be juicy. We're really looking forward to it. And on the same card, we also have Keyshawn Davis versus Jermaine Ortiz. And Davis has actually stated plans to move up to 147 after this fight. I don't think he's super interested in facing Shakur Stevenson, but it'll be great to see him back in action. He talks about being very fired up for this fight. He's had a bit of a layoff, so it'll be really interesting to see him come back. But either way, guys, January 31st is absolutely stacked. I think it's a good omen for the boxing that we're going to get in 2026 in, in full when we look forward at the calendar. But I'm really interested to know which fights you're most looking forward to seeing. Let me know in the comments which ones stand out to you and what you make of it. And yeah, in the meantime, don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe, and we will catch you on the next episode of The Sit Down.